there. Okay, so now we got the recording going. Okay, so Linda, you've got a thing to, you were going to show. Bill, did you have anything or?
Yeah, I have something I could show. I mean, it's
okay,
not, but it's something I was working on. Might
all
be
right.
super interesting.
Good, good mental note for 4 years from now. Don't book a meeting on the same night as the president inauguration. Attendance will be low. We'll remember that for the future. Okay, so anyway, Linda, do you want to go ahead and chat about something?
For sure.
Share what you have?
May I share my screen?
Yeah, here, let me, I think you have the option to do that. Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, it's such a coincidence today, inauguration.
Yeah, really. I hadn't thought of that when we booked the meeting.
So I stopped using Facebook and Instagram because I wanted to limit my social media use. And then, I think I worked on it this morning. Open in VS Code. Okay. So I created a travel blog where I would post images and stuff from like places that I've gone to. And this is just like a side project for myself. And so you can click on an image and then it loads like the date it was posted, or not posted, the date it was taken, and also the location. And I really like to go hiking, so these are all my the places that I went hiking at. And how I made it was so something that was cool that I incorporated was that this background changes depending on the time of day. So between, I believe, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. This will be a different image than the one that's being shown. It's a lighter color, so it's like a daytime feel. I'm pulling all the data from a JSON, and I wanted to structure it so it was easily readable. So I added in some carriage returns. And so what I wanted to do was incorporate tags. So when you click on them, it'll filter it. And this is currently all being done with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also JSON. Let's see, something that was...
I'm sorry, real quick. Are you using an external microphone somewhere? There's like a loud clicking noise when you're
sorry, that's my trackpad.
Oh, gotcha.
I was moving stuff around.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, please continue.
I'm a loud typer. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I am retrieving the data from the JSON here, pushing it into an array, so it loads it in the format that I wanted originally. So right now it's being loaded in reverse. So the first item that's being loaded here is actually at the top, and then the bottommost, this placeholder that I have, is at the very bottom, because I wanted to, I'm using Flexbox for everything, but I realized that the wrapping of Flexbox, it would give an awkward space, and I've tried everything to fix it, and it wouldn't fix it. There would just be like an awkward space here while these two remain, I guess, with the appearance of being floated left, with a gap here as well. So I was just, I didn't want that to happen. So I kept it, I just load the data in reverse. But yeah, that's my travel log. Yeah.
I see, because otherwise you have two at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
You're worried about the two at the bottom and how that would look.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have an even number of three.
Yeah.
ESS Grid is your friend for that.
Oh, great. I will try that. So
nice and easy. And now
And-
it's supported everywhere finally, more or less.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for
Awesome.
my travel thingy.
So your files are just local, they're just on GitHub. Your image files are just on GitHub and you're just using the JSON to pull them?
Yeah.
Nice. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Bill, I guess since we were talking before we started the recording about the DistroKid thing I started doing, I can give a little intro to like what they do that may or may not be of interest to people. It's all built on open source software.
Sure.
Not that I can show any code anywhere, but we can talk about that and then you can do your thing too.
Mhm.
Yes. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? Do you
I
care?
don't care. You choose.
Don't care. Okay, why don't you go since you were talking about it first?
All right. Let me share my screen. So the project I want to show is Nolan. You know, I'm a member over at Access Gallery, and Access Gallery, for those of you who don't know, is a artist collective that runs a gallery in Sacramento, and artist members sit in the gallery. We run the gallery, and then we get to put up shows every once in a while, and that kind of thing. And there's Rob saying, "Oh shit, he completely forgot." So that's going on over at Access Gallery, and recently, this past fall, we decided to let in 5 new members to Access Gallery, and so we had like 20 applications, and the applications were like really good, like really, really good. Like, how are we going to pick, some of these people to come join us and not others? I wasn't really sure. And then on top of that, like, I don't know, I just always feel a little bit like it's like a little bit of imposter syndrome. And I was thinking about like, what could I do to make myself look more like, a legit artist? And of course, because I make websites, I was like, well, my artist website's really it's just one project. It was one project that I was doing, which is a cool project, but I wanted to have more of an artist website. So I went and looked at what other people in the group have for artist websites and decided to build something that would kind of go along, kind of look more like, I don't, for once in my life, I'm trying to fit in, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, which is pretty rare for me, but occasionally it happens. So it's williammead.com, you guys, wmmead.com if you want to go there, but here it is here. And I had this idea that I just wanted this sort of scrolling thing of sort of, just a sample of work. I'd looked at a bunch of artist websites, and I was looking at how people are showing their work and the way they talk about their work on their websites and this kind of stuff. And everything's always in the third person. So like if you click the about, like it's talking, I wrote this, but it's all in third person because that's the way artists do this stuff. It looks more official, I guess. I don't know. But it turns out that making this script sort of writing the JavaScript to make this thing kind of run seamlessly and smoothly was trickier than I thought it would be. And actually, this is the beginning here. So when you see the picture of me with the cat go by, that's one full loop of the images. And then it starts to repeat. So let me view page source here and click on my script. It's probably at the bottom here. Here it is. So hopefully you guys can see this and it makes sense. So I'm using this, what's interesting here. So I've got basically just a pile of images inside a div with a class of A, right? Just a big pile of images that I've processed. So they're all kind of the same height. So they can all go next to each other kind of nicely. They're different widths, but they're all the same height. So I have this animate slider that goes and gets that content that's inside of that thing, and then figures out how wide is it? How many pixels across is the whole sort of thing with all the images? And then I clone it, because you could slide the whole thing across, but then when you get to the end, like, you need to repeat it. So I decided, well, the best way to deal with this is to clone it and just tack it on the end. So that's what I do here, is I clone it, the entire thing, and stick the cloned version on the end. And I set the left side so that it's at the left of the entire slider width. So it's kind of tacked on the right-hand side of that slider. And then I run repeat animation, which is this function down here, which adds an event listener that's looking for transition end. All the actual animations happening in CSS. But when that CSS transition comes to an end, it basically takes the clone slider. What does it do now? Now I've forgotten. It basically takes the whole thing and puts it right up on the screen again, and then runs animate slider again, and just basically duplicates itself. It takes it off of the DOM and then duplicates itself, puts it right back on to keep it going around again. I think that's what it's doing. And then I've got this I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with this kind of thing before, but this is actually a super useful little script. And I didn't think of it myself. I actually got this from somebody else, but it's actually super useful, because if you've ever done anything where you resize your screen, and you want something to change, what this part of the script does is it actually listens for when you resize your screen, and then when you're done resizing, it clears a timeout. So it sets a timeout for what you're doing, and then it clears that timeout when you're done resizing, so that it'll then run animated slider. Done resizing. Yeah, so it clears that timeout. So basically it waits until your resize is done and then runs this thing here after 500 milliseconds, so that sort of repositions it. And I have to do this here because when you resize the screen, you could end up with a different offset width for all the pictures, because the pictures could get squished. So everything has to be kind of reset, if that makes sense. So I don't know. It was a fun script to write. It took me like half a day to kind of get it all to work and fuss around with it. But it's kind of fun, and I like how it works, and that it sort of comes along and does that stuff. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if that makes any sense at all.
That's awesome.
Or if that's interesting.
Yeah, I am going through the self-imposed pain right now of designing my personal artist website right now too, and coming to grips with it's really hard. It's really hard. I had a hard time just writing my own bio before for like speaking at conferences and doing things like that, and building your own personal branded website is that times 1,000 for me. It's like, oh my God, it's so much content about myself. I hate doing content about myself.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot. But that looks really good, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's super cool.
It's kind of fun. I really like it. Yeah, it's kind of a fun little project, and I love making these sort of interface elements and trying to figure out how to make them all work with just kind of plain JavaScript without having to do any libraries or any kind of anything extra. Just kind of nice, lean, mean. How can you like build it from scratch, kind of thing. That's where my happy place is.
Nice.
How long did it take to, I guess, build the like the CSS portion of it? Because you said you're not using any JavaScript for the animation, right?
Oh yeah, no, the Java. Let me go back to this. Let me just do this really quick. The animation's super simple. I go back in here and go find my style sheet here.
I've seen
There it is.
JavaScript like cycling images, but I haven't seen it with CSS before. That's super cool.
Where's my animation? Here it is. This is the entire animation right here. Oh no, that's the other one. That's the hover on those. This one, this is it here.
It's like linear.
Slider display flex. Linear means there's no easing, so because I want it to be all the same amount of time. Usually with animation, you want some sort of easing, so like it kind of speeds up and slows down, so you get kind of more of a feel to it. But for this, I just want it to be the exact same speed all the way through. But that's the entire animation right there. I'm just taking that slider and sliding it left. That's it.
So how does it get from like point A to point B? Is that in the JavaScript?
I don't. Wait, is it? Good question. Yeah, style left minus, this is it here. So when it runs this animate slider, it's just taking slider and setting its left to the minus, taking the width of that thing. So if it's 2000 pixels wide, it's going to take the left and make it minus 2000 pixels, which will move that entire slider off the left side of the screen. And then the cloned one starts to move in right behind it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So yeah, that's how it's working. If that makes sense.
Okay, and then in your CSS, it takes 60 seconds, which is a minute for everything to cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's just changing that left property, and so no, not that one. Already got this one down here. That transition's just taking 60 seconds to make it change that left property there. I probably could have just done transition left rather than transition all, but nothing else is changing. So it's just transitioning left over 60 seconds and moving it over. And as it moves over, then once it moves out of the screen, the cloned version is moving in like right behind it. And then it just keeps going from there. So yeah, that's how it's working. And you're welcome to go to that. It's online, wmead.com. You can go there and inspect it to sort of watch it do its thing. I've done plenty with various sliders and image things, and it's like, I haven't done this before, so it was kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Good luck making yours, Nolan. It's hard. Mine's still not done. I still have to put projects in there. I have yet to do the hardest part.
Mine's really driving me nuts. I had a friend build a basic template to start, and then I sort of went in and modified it and added a picture here and there, and just it felt icky the whole time building a website for myself. So I've actually got a different designer building a better template now, and I'm going to have him just do all of it. And so like, you do it so that I'm removed from that content, and maybe that'll help me feel a little bit better about putting such a website together. But yeah, it's It's not my favorite thing to do, to build the websites that just basically sound like a big ego. I'm inflating, myself. Like, let me talk about, all the stuff I do. Like, I know I have to do it because of the world I live in, but
it feels so weird, but like,
totally,
I don't know.
very much so.
Yeah, sometimes we have to fit in.
I know that is one of the worst parts about being a consultant and just working in both being a consultant and playing in bands is the promotion part of just, I have to tell people about these things I make and do. And that part drives me crazy. I'm terrible at doing self-promotion. I did start reading a book called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. I read that about once a year. And that really helps me get over that hump of feeling dirty talking about myself and promoting my things out on the internet. So if anyone feels the same with whatever medium you make your art in, if you feel like I do about like, I just don't like telling people about my stuff. Austin Kleon's got 3 really, really good books. One is called Steal Like an Artist, about like how to get inspired. Show Your Work is looking at it. You've made a thing. Here's ways you can tell people about it. And then the third one he put out last year is called Keep Going. It's sort of about like 10 tips on how to persevere when times get tough and you just feel burnt out and don't really feel like making more stuff. It's really good. They're all super thin books. You can read each one in like an hour. I've heard
of the Steal Like an Artist one before. I haven't heard of the other.
Yeah, that was kind of his main one that got a lot of hype, and then the other 2 were sequels that came out after them.
Cool.
And I barely ever reread any books. Usually I read a book once and put it down and that's it. And I reread those 3 every single year just to get like charged back up and feel motivated again about making art and putting it out in the world and feeling a little bit less dirty about promoting my own stuff out there. And
what's his name again?
Austin Kleon, Kleon.
Does it help to, I guess, speak about yourself in a third person, like what Bill was saying?
I think it's weird personally, but it seems to me that everybody does that on all the websites. So I went ahead and did it.
I think it helps a little bit for me, if for no other reason than all the sentences don't begin with I. Yeah. I made this thing. I went here. I did this. I did that. I feel like I'm a second grader with no grammatical skills whatsoever when I do that. So if you put it in the third person, there's just more options available when I'm describing, the web app I'm building or the whatever the thing is that we're trying to promote in that context. So, so I'll use third person for things like that fairly often. Any other questions for Bill or anything? We're good? Okay. Then I can share my screen and show y'all a thing I've been working on lately. So I have been running a consulting business for the last few years, and DistroKid is a project I've been working on. Started up with doing some stuff with them about a year ago. You can go to distrokid.com and check it out. What they do is, if you are a band, a DJ, some sort of entity that makes music, and you want to get your music onto the streaming platforms like Spotify and iTunes and all of those great places, you can go to DistroKid, set up an account, and they will take care of that for you. So you can go here, and there are a couple of different levels for it. The main one that a lot of people use is it's $20 a year, and you can upload as much original music as you want. So it doesn't matter if I make 1 song, if I make 1,000 songs, doesn't matter what genre it is. I can upload as much music as I want, $20 a year, and they will go ahead and put it onto the different platforms for me. So I can log in and show you a little bit about what the site looks like when you have an account.
And did you build this site, Nolan?
I did not build this entire site. This site is built by, it was started by a guy named Philip Kaplan. He's built a few other things, and the DistroKid is his current project. And so he started it. And now there's a team of, I think, about 10 or 12 developers, some of us here in the US, some of us in Europe. They work on various pieces of it, and they're constantly adding new features to the site. So when you first log in, you go to the upload page and pick which stores you want to have your song put onto. And you tell it, like, I'm uploading 1 song, or I'm uploading a whole album with like 10 or 11 songs. And then you can just tell it all the different usual stuff about, here's the name of my band. Here's the date that I want the album or song released on. Yes, take pre-orders for it. Let people buy it in advance or make a note to where the album is going to be located in advance and things like that. You upload your album cover, what language it's in, all the usual stuff you'd expect in some sort of I'm uploading a thing for sale on the website type of form. It's a pretty big form with lots of stuff, but you only have to do this once. You upload your track. There are a few add-ons they offer for it as well. If you want your song to be in Shazam, you can do that. YouTube Content ID is a thing where if your song gets used in a video on YouTube, they'll track it and then pay you your cut for any money that's made from that, the song being used in there. Tidal is a service that Jay-Z created, and there's some extra fancy audio options that are available from there. If you want to do the Tidal stuff, they've got availability for that. If you use a cover song, you have to pay an extra fee and that sort of thing too. But if you're just uploading like a beat you made in your bedroom or a recording of your punk band or whatever, you just go up here, upload the form, click these boxes and hit done. And then it will go off into their processing queue. And in a couple of days, you'll get a song on a page that looks like this. Come on. I think my internet is going a little bit wonky. There we go. And here's 5 records that my various bands have uploaded out into the world over the last couple of years. So I can go in here and say, like, I had a project called The Stick Ups. We made a song called Hipster Christmas List. Here's my artwork for it. And it'll show me down here all the different options for that song. Like it'll say which stores that song is available on. If there's a direct link to where that song is available on the store, you can click there and actually get to that link. And I can go in here and see like, yep, there's the song. I can buy it on Amazon if I want to. And these are, of course, public links I can send to my friends or send to whoever on the internet, and they can use it to buy those songs. You get these hyperfollow things down here, which is like your links to share links to where you can buy these specific songs on various social media platforms. And then, of course, I've got a few other options in here I can turn on if I wanted to, add extra stuff for that song. One of the fun things they have is this Marcel option. And go in there and click it. It will take the scene from the show Friends, where Ross has his monkey, and it will actually interject part of my song onto the top of that video.
That's hilarious.
That's not my song, but you see how it works. That's just the demo video of where it puts that on there. But yeah, they have various options like that. I get stats on when and where these songs have been downloaded. It'll show me like date ranges and locations and things. You can filter by stores, figure out where the songs were downloaded by iTunes, Apple Music, and so on. I can look for specific albums and see when an album was downloaded, or even specific songs within those albums, and figure out, well, like when was just this song downloaded and where. Sometimes you can get location specific data. I think that's under Apple Music. Let me go here. Age. Come on, where's it at? Anyway, you can see all kinds of different metrics about like how often different records are downloaded from different tracks, different types of streams that are, if people have your song in a playlist, if they're just playing the whole album off of the platform. There is another one in here somewhere. There's a map that'll show me. Here we go. Map that'll show me like, so this song, somebody in California really, really likes playing whatever song that was I clicked on. They played 104 times. I swear it's not me playing my own song. I promise it's somebody down in the Bay Area. Somebody in Alameda really, really likes whatever track that was that I clicked on. And there's a bunch of other options they have in here for things like you can add your lyrics to search engines. You can build what they call promo cards for your records. So I can just go in here and click again on let's go to Hipster Christmas List and say generate promo cards. And then poof, now it made all of these neat little graphics for me that I can use. I can just download these and put them on my website, my social media, whatever, to help promote this particular song when it came out and do that sort of thing. And unless there's a fee obviously printed on the screen, like back here in the music, down here, if I want to do this Tidal master thing, it's $9. But unless it flat out says this is an extra fee, all of these other options that are over here in that more menu, this is all totally free stuff. If I want to make that Marcel video for my song, it doesn't cost me anything. If I want to use, add my lyrics to search engines and stuff, $0 for that too. If I want to make these hyperfollow links, basically a really fancy page to send people a page that looks like, oh, where's it at? share on Twitter link. If I want to make a hyperfollow page to promote one of my songs, that's all free. They're constantly adding new features in here to do different stuff like that to make your songs more interesting. This Dave thing is kind of fun too. You can go into Dave, and when it loads, there it goes. I can click on any one of my songs. Like let's go to Hipster Christmas List again and click next, and it will actually listen to the song. Issue analyzing that track. Let's try a different song. There we go. Okay. So I listened to a song of mine called 3 Times on the Shoulder. And it will actually tell me like what key the song is in, how many BPM it is, the loudness level of the song. It'll tell me if the song is 30%, 37% danceable. It has an 89% energy level. So it's got this fun little AI thing in here that's just kind of an entertaining way to like analyze your song and see what it thinks about the vibe of that song and stuff like that. So there's fun features in here that are just kind of, you know, goofy things like this. There's also features you can use to help promote your music and get it more out onto the different streaming platforms. And it's all $20 a year. This site is built using an open source programming language called Lucy. It's a Java-based scripting language. And pretty much the entire website is Lucy on the back end with your typical SQL style databases and plain JavaScript all across the front end of the website too. So very, very little of anything in here is, in fact, I don't think there's anything that's like super proprietary, you know, like some weird library from Oracle that would cost, you know, 10 million bucks or anything crazy like that. It's almost all of it is open source, standard programming language stuff that we put together. And it's extremely popular. They do lots of processing of music for bands all across the world. Yeah, all kinds of people use it. Like Dan the Automator, who's a techno electronic guy from the Bay Area. He's on there. A bunch of the YouTube, I don't know if I'd say stars, but lots of the real popular YouTube folks are on there, like Rob Scallon. He does a lot of those videos where like he'll play Metallica songs on ukuleles and dress up in farmer clothes while he does that. He's on there. There's a whole list of different tributes from popular acts that use DistroKid on their front page on the website. And yeah, so that's the project I've been working on for the last year or so now. Is that?
It looks like, am I wrong? It looks like Lucy's part of Apache and it's been retired as a project.
That is something else. No, Lucy it's a Java scripting language. It is not retired. It started out as it's kind of a competitor to Adobe Cold Fusion, but Adobe Cold Fusion is a paid product that costs, depending on what kind of license you get, either $2,000 or maybe $8,000 or $9,000 per production server. And Lucy is the same thing, just written in pure open source Java. So you can download Lucy for free, and it's a similar open source platform or open source pay model to something like MySQL, where MySQL itself is free. If you need support for it, they sell support contracts and such for it. Lucy's kind of the same way. You want to use Lucy, it's free, download it, go nuts. They offer training and support packages. You can become a Lucy member where you pay X number of dollars a year, and then you get to actually have a say in what features they add to the next version of Lucy as it comes out. And the DistroKid folks work really, really closely with the Lucy folks. So when DistroKid needs a new feature, they talk to Lucy guys, or when there's a bug, they talk to them and say, hey, you know, can you fix this bug for us and whatever. And
is there a reason why they picked that over like PHP?
I think it had to do with because it's got the Cold Fusion style language constructs in it. It's really, really quick to start using it to build an application. And Philip, the CEO, who he's the CEO now, but he wrote all of the code to get DistroKid going for the first couple of years of its existence before it ballooned into the team that it is now. And he knew the Cold Fusion syntax, so he started with that because he could just crank it out really quickly and go from there. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on.
That's very cool.
That's really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun.
Super cool. Wow. Especially like you could generate all the different kinds of album, like the album cover and mock-ups. That was awesome.
Yeah, the promo card thing, those are fun. That code was actually written by the CEO a few months ago. He just cranked that feature out in a few days and went, oh, this will be fun. We'll add it to the website. And there it is. And he's constantly doing that. He comes up with ideas for new features and adds it to the website and then just tells the rest of the team, hey, I put this thing up here. Here's how it works. Here's where the code is if you need to fix a bug. And we're like, oh, okay, we have a new feature on the website now. And he almost never charges for them. Like a very, very few of the new features that they add, do they actually make it a line item that bands have to pay another fee to get. Most everything he does, he just puts on the website and says, you know, here you go. Here's another thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Anything else? Any other things we want to go over?
Could you demo the Marcel generator again?
Demo the Marcel Generator again. Yeah, give me 1 second to see if I can get that working without sharing my screen here. So let's go.
That's pretty cool.
Was that hard to make, the Marcel generator?
I did not work on the Marcel Generator part, so I'm not sure what all went into doing that.
I assume that it's just a time because it's syncing up to when Marcel plays with the radio, right?
It is syncing up with when Marcel plays the radio, yes.
So I assume it's just a time code that you're probably just, it's probably generating a new track and sticking it with the.
Might be, all right, let me see here. I'll try this again. Let's see if we can get it to work. I'll click on the button. All right, so the Marcel Generator, I'll pick, we'll go with Hipster Christmas List. We've been talking about that one for a while. Who's Dancing Marcel? There's a few others in here, Baby Yoda and Clerks and some other options for making the videos. So we'll stick with Marcel. And you can tell it what part of the song you want to have the video play. When it gets to the Marcel playing the song, I'll just pick a random part somewhere in the middle of the song. Generate video. And then that turns away and it's processing. Oh, I have 2 minutes left. Okay. So it's, while that's processing, here's the one that I did previously. I'm going to unshare my screen and download this one. Just in case I have whatever, like, you know, confidential files that pop up in the download window. I don't want anything to be crazy and cause a problem later. So let me.
That's so interesting. So
this, and here is the video.
Like syncing up the music to an entire video.
Yeah. Can you hear the audio when I play this?
No.
No, I think in Zoom you have to do something special.
All right, let's see if I can fix that in Zoom real quick here then.
I think it's when you share, you have to turn on.
Let's try that here. Stop share.
So Linda, I think what they're doing is they're taking the audio track out. They've pulled the audio track off the video already, and they know at which point in the audio track he starts playing the radio. So they're probably just taking a splice of your song and putting it together with the audio, with the beginning part of that audio and then maybe the end part, and then putting it back on. So that's what the processing's doing now over the next 2 minutes.
Interesting.
And I don't, for the life of me, see an option for audio in here. See who can share, all participants, how many can share, how do I share my audio?
Down at the bottom it says share sound.
I do not have a share sound button at the bottom.
Down at the bottom, when you click on share on Zoom and you get the multiple desktops.
Let's try that. Aha, share sound, here we go. All right, beautiful, thank you. 10 points for Bill. All right.
I'm a Zoom expert. I'm a Zoom expert. A Zoom expert.
I'll try this. Can you hear this? Is it doing anything?
No.
No. All right.
No, can't hear it. Oh well. So much for that.
Well, stop share. Let's see what happened here. I'm gonna try one more time, and if this doesn't work, we'll just.
You have to go in and upload a song, Linda, and see what happens.
Do it just for Marcel.
Just for Marcel. We're trying, Marcel. I can't figure it out. I don't know. Well. I promise it works though. I have used it before. Yeah, it doesn't see. I don't know what it did. Somehow my audio settings got crazy there. Let's try going to the system preferences to see if it's anything over here that I can change. Input audio device.
That's a really cool feature, though. Just
I don't know.
Being able to upload some audio and.
Oh, but now I can't hear any of you.
There's also that
new video.
Let's go back this way.
Can you hear us again or no?
Is anyone there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
can
you.
I think we
Yeah,
lost
I
audio.
can hear you.
I lost audio.
Oh,
That's
We can
weird.
hear you.
Well, we were basically done anyway, right? So shall we call, Bill says he can hear me, right? Okay, I cannot hear any of you now anymore. Let's try unsharing that button. Let's see what this does. Well, I clicked something, didn't I?
Can you hear?
can you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, did we have anything else we wanted to figure out, or should we just call it here anyway? We're done?
I think we can call it night.
I can kind of read enough lips. Okay. It's up there. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good night.
Take
Stay
care.
safe, everybody. See you later.
Good
All
night.
right, bye-bye.
Stay healthy.